Alright, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to the new series of Crusader Kings 3 here on the Lord Master channel, all about Nubia. So first off, this event we see here that popped up as I jumped a little bit ahead of time prior to recording. The Pupil Smiters. Long ago, our ancestors and those of the Arabic peoples from the north fought many battles. Our ancestors successfully repelled the invaders and negotiated a Bach treaty with them, thanks in part to the fearsome abilities of their archers. Even now, the Arabic people calls us Nubians the Pupil Smiters. There is a legend that in those battles of yore, our ancestors purposely aimed for the eyes of the Arabic to blind them. Such stories has been of immense interest to me lately. I have no doubt that our present-day archers can match our ancestors' skill, if push came to shove. Either emulate them, just to increase our archer damage, if I was leading an army, of course. Which, I could theoretically lead the army myself, but more of an administrative man myself. Or just say that these stories will discourage foreigners from attacking us, which will have a defender advantage up. But I believe it makes little difference with our notches, with the archer damage being increased, but I think you're better off with those stories of Pilsners. Use the stories of the legendary deeds of previous generations of Nubian archers to discourage enemies from raiding or attacking their land, so have more defense for that. And hold it right there. Duke Zacharias. He now holds the land himself. That means he revoked the title after passing a few days. That's good. Which means I can go petition to the king right now before he passes. Because he's infirm, he's in poor health, and he likes me well enough. So I'm gonna go seek to petition the king to give me that land. Whatever he asks, I'll do it. Oh, and please get a tattoo. It'll give you a small health boost for the next 10 years. But we'll do that in a moment. It's been a while since I've done a personal agenda. Maybe war is fascinating. I still have a lot to learn, so getting a bit of martial up while having pursuit efficiency and counter efficiency and battle roll, that might do. Fortunately, everything went well, and your personal agenda unfolded successfully with minimal unexpected challenges. So, not a courtier mentioned this was an enthusiast of ancient military tactics and strategy, always seeking to learn and improve. Well, that's just in case if I feel like if we can't get this land, we may have to fight a war for it, even while the garrison is very, very low due to illegitimate rule by the man, or whoever was the previous owner. You can also do a scheme of self-improvement, even though gain stresses you're diligent. Being Abscor means starting a regency. I don't want to do that just yet. Oh, and also since I'm 51 years old for this character, you can retire to a monastery, which is either caused by having too much stress in you, or at least you're 50 years old. You can abdicate to the throne. I think that's part of the ChatGPT flavor pack mod. I think that's one of the reasons why that option is there, rather than it's something new, I think. But I would only do that if I was playing a certain character that I don't particularly like playing, or is too much of a religious man, and say, oh, I think my heir can do a lot better. Like this one. He's intelligent, and is into learning, and just as good with stewardship. If he's better than me at certain fields, I might consider early retirement, whenever I complete my aspiration. For now, I have no retirement plans. try to border raid one more time. Well, meanwhile, also don't do the royal favor stuff anymore. Because, yeah, it manages privileges, especially with my dynasty being up a lot more, as we're getting plenty of renown. I could petition my age to help me rise to the challenges I face. Sincere requests which contribute to the good of the realm are often granted. So, I'll travel to his court to deliver my petition. Liege personality, opinion, and petition type affects the changes of acceptance. Transfer claim is the only one, so I have to travel there first. Which I don't need to spend that much because travel seems to be safe from here. And I get to visit the capital, which I'll gain plenty of diplomacy lifestyle experience. Due to being the capital of the Kingdom of Makuria, which its court type is diplomatic, and the fortress of Dongala, which will give me more of the diplomacy lifestyle, much more. Both of which gives me wonder for the travel trait. I'll get a lot closer to this. Let's do it. Alright. Let's move out. I must seek an audience of a king before he passes. Question is, will he give me that claim, or will I have to give him something in return? Alright. I'm escorted into the King George's throne room, where he beckons for me to approach and address him. I deftly present the evidence of my claim to the county of Vatan al-Hajjah, and highlight the strength over that of Duke Zacharias. After listening to the speech, he sits in silence for several moments as he mulls my petition over. Eventually he addresses me. You make some good arguments, but if I'm to agree with your request, I need something in return. Sure, you would see a benefit of us we come to an arrangement. I could try to convince him, but that would not be wise, because I would never get it. Plus, he's of old age, and he's going to pass soon, so... Oh, I thought I was going to give him a favor. Instead, pay him 30 gold, and I'll give him the money. Just pay him 30 gold, and I get the county. It'd be considered an act of tyranny for him, and he gains a bit of court grandeur. Well, Zacharias grows close to forming a rival with me. Doesn't like that the king did this, while we gain each other a little bit of renown. So yeah, it's a fair offer. I thought I was going to give him a hook or something, but 30 gold? Oh yeah, fair offer. I accept. And there we go. You've earned this land. And there's plenty of control that needs to be restored, so get to work on that. And we do have a seneschal, yes. I've managed the domain. Get up faster. That would mean more income coming from the berry groves. Alright. That's very nice. So, we'll be getting the control restored in no time, so this is what the land has in the county. The Belly of Stones, or Vatan al-Hajjah, that's what that name means, is a stretch of the Nile River extending southward from the Second Cataract. It is notorious for its dangerous, barren, rocky landscape. Few live here, though exiles and refugees tend to escape here in times of trouble. Over the centuries, wise rulers have built small forts, watchtowers, and customs stations in this region to control the flow of traffic. Supply limits lowered here. Fort level is +2 higher, so that's the reason why it takes years to take this place. Well, hostile raid time increases, so they'll have a hard time trying to raid it if anyone comes here. While development goes on to decline a bit as this is a rocky landscape. And travel is more dangerous when you go through here because of people that live there. Cooperative stonemasons, that's good. Buildings are cheaper. And before I came to there, they've been expanding the Nile irrigation networks. Local communities are employing proven technologies typically used in Nubia, such as the Sakia, and certain methods of digging water channels to extend the reach of the Nile's waters. Only tax goes up and county fertility growth up. Now, what is that word I just mentioned? Sakya is a mechanical water lifting device that consists of buckets of jars fastened to a vertical wheel or a rope belt about the wheel, which in turn is attached by a shaft to a horizontal wheel turned by horses, oxen, or donkeys. This form of irrigation has been in use in the Middle East, India, and North Africa for centuries. In many places, the sakya are supported by different local shareholders who agree to equally contribute to the necessary materials or perform repairs on the sakya, and in turn, each shareholder receives an equal period of irrigation for their own field. And there's also a large cattle herd here, so there's plenty of development ongoing, but honestly, that development's now been curtailed due to, well, there was a recent war here. So as the local population faces substantial difficulties as a result of the siege, there are shortages of food and essential resources. Infrastructure may be damaged, leading to disruptions in daily life. The community struggles to cope with the aftermath, and economic activities are hampered. So that county had lost 60 development progress. So building construction time takes way longer. Development growth goes down quite a bit, and popular opinion is 30. So they're struggling, especially given my current lifestyle and current laws by our top liege. This is why I picked mostly fair for the early part of the Dynasty Legacy, because I fear present revolts. So we can hope that everything will be restored to normal. With a full garrison. There's no need to build walls or towers to complement this. But thankfully, everything is a lot cheaper. And just remember, we have the now agriculture, which, there's additional bonuses in coastal baronies in counties if you live along the coast, but this isn't the coast. Farmers field 6-7 years. Cattle pastures goes up a bit. Nine years to build regimental grounds. Oh yeah, don't forget, it was also recently looted from that siege. In a few years, it's going to become economically viable. You could build a trade port along the river if you wish, but I guess it's nice to have a little source of income coming from the orchards and the hill forts, but honestly, given its strategic location, this might as well be our, well, for the lack of a better term, our military base here. You've got your orchards, you've got small hill fort. Regimental grounds would be excellent to have for more additional men-at-arms damage and toughness if we had another men-at-arms regiment besides our Nile archers. But holder of the holding, men-at-arms maintenance to be reduced would be good to have. So go ahead, even if it takes an eternity and a half to build this. But we'll slowly get more income because currently that income's almost non-existent. That domain tax on the commoners. That's a reason. Right, now that I have the land. Unfortunately, this next one over there is held by a Prince Bishop. But at least their fort level is lowered, but they're about to build a hill fort. So I would have to fight a war for it if I want this county. Or alternatively, take the duchy as a whole if you got a claim on it. Which, if I want that claim, I could... Oh, you're going to give it to me. Opinion of the target is a concern. Huh. Guess you two don't see each other eye to eye. Just take the whole damn duchy instead of the county. And I'm sure you wouldn't want to give it to... Oh, he's traveling. Head of Faith will not grant any claims to theocratic vassals. Okay. The reason you said you were going to give me that claim is because, yes, he's a sinner. I am virtuous. Consider opinion of target. Or speak Arabic. And the Coptic Pope's opinion of me is pretty good. So good timing with this. Give it to me. But at the same time, I still want to fabricate the claim of Courtiers. Take the Prince Bishopric. Hold the church for myself because that's cathedral for himself, which is pretty good. Look at that tax. That's certainly better than what we got here. And one day I will control the rest of all this. I would like to have Nubia for myself. Move out of here and then go to there. Something to consider. Oh, you can perform administrative Nile border tasks, which you can do all these things, such as correspond with counterpart, fortify the border, oversee land sales, scrutinize travelers, send report disappears, and process routine paperwork. Just let me see one for example of why you can't do this right now. You have to, one of these must be true. You have the town of Nubia, and any of the barony is in the county of there. So in this case, you have to be in Nubia's northern frontier. It's very expensive, man. So I suggest you move your capital to here, then you got it. You have that option. And these guys can do it too if they wish to. And if you were on the Egyptian side here, Egyptian side of the frontier would be all along the Nile and part of the eastern desert mountains. So one of these is all of these. So we ought to get that title. But at the same time, friend, as much as I like you, but you're gonna have to start fabricating a claim to this. It'll take 4 years, okay? I can wait 4 years. So we should start investing in the military a little bit more. Now that you have acquired the greatest fortification that isn't Dongola, which can never be conquered. And I gotta improve this one of these days. At least it's cheaper there. Alright. I've pondered your request and decided to recognize your claim on the Duchy of Nubia. There has come to light the irrefutable proof that your ancestors did indeed rule the land in ancient times. I'll prove myself a worthy ruler. In ancient Nubia days, I mean, it's hard to prove of what house-size ancestors were like. I'm just an agricultural official. Maybe my ancestors did rule the lands once back in the days. Unless you want to go further back to pharaonic times, then you make a case. I mean, I could fight a war just for that title, but which means he'll be a powerful vassal and he'll want to get rid of me. Then and when push comes to shove, and all that. Anyways, it's finally a temperate time to water the orchards of Hanek. I grabbed the opportunity to do so. Dormant, yet still green, the trees wait for warmer seasons. Suddenly a high-pitched shriek pierces the air. I quicken my step to only find a peasant child below a tree, in shambles and sobbing violently. It would seem he has made an attempt at climbing a tree. Before slipping and falling on the ground, one of the bone pipes protruding at a strange angle. Well, I was never a dreadful ruler, so I'll just say there. Region of travel through Hanek suffered from an unusual amount of rain lately. Though it has cleared, it has made the roads muddy. Most of it has been manageable until today, when some of our luggage trains got stuck in the mud. We spent considerable effort and time getting the animals and supplies unstuck, carrying the dry ground. I hate traveling. While visiting the town along the Nile Valley, I'm enjoying a dish of formademist, hearty stew of fava beans mixed with olive oil and various spices and garnishes, popular among the many in this region for generations. Delicious. Just noticed about to reach 2,000 prestige, and I'm about to get a penalty for that. I'm an experienced traveler now. Hey, want to travel again? Like if I was to pay homage, I mean, your income's gonna get slowly better and better. And you do get renown reward for this. And plus, the king's about to die. So I guess it would be better to do it now, before the new one comes in. And then you get to pay homage to your new ruler again. Yes, I just got home and now, just haven't found the time to enjoy it myself. Chancellor's gone. Okay, we found someone better. We'll reassign you to a new one and then assign the new one in. Third time's not the charm. While traveling on the road in Kemna, we discovered to our horror that a number of our food supplies had gone bad. It had earlier appears in our trip that the food got mixed with a lot of water by accident. Now it's rather moldy. There aren't any settlements nearby, so we need to forage and hunt some food to hold us over. That would waste time. On the other hand, we could tough it out, ration out what food we still have, and hurry to the nearest settlement. Let's take our time to forage and hunt. There's no rush, other than the king's life. Powerful vassals have gathered today. Let me see. I mean, I do have the prestige, and remember that penalty if you don't, if you get up to 2,000. So let's try to persuade him. You may not like me much, but let's give it a try. Hours of discussion only the stress and disagreements. It's clear that your plans and Duke's ambitions are misaligned. We advise to step back now. I don't know what laws that the king's about to change, but still. Someone ushered me into King Joseph's great hall in Dongola, where he sits as though waiting to hear my pledge. I kneel at the feet of my lord and pledge many oaths of homage, as the scribes record the event. My attendants then follow, presenting my rich gifts to the king before the assembled court. Joseph bid me to rise and confirms his satisfaction, along with my rights to the lands I rule in his stead. The price of fealty. I gain renown for that. Will I gain prestige and legitimacy for this? It would help him for his court grandeur. At the center of Hanak, there's a large church with everything else in the city settled around it. As soon as we enter the holy building, a man comes running over. My lord, you look like a man of means. Would you be willing to donate to our church? Scraping and bowing, he holds out his hand sheepishly. I see there's some minor work being done around the building, but it is not nearly enough to make up for all the church's shortcomings. It seems that it's time to move on. Just want to get home. The fields of Hanak is swarming with tiny, dark, blood-sucking insects. No matter what we do or where we go, they are there, bleaching our blood like a torturous cloud sent by Satan himself. Not only are the horses getting flighty and temperamental, but my entourage as well, especially my chances of Makuria, who's fiercely flowing his sanguine-covered arms. Barracuda, strip down and walk in front. He'll be naked for a while so the mosquitoes can get to him. Once more, the road ahead is dangerous. For safety, we have to settle for the night. While others set up the camp, I catch Magritte picking up another unknown fruit. I admire your curiosity, then I smiles like Jesus look, then bursts. I'm sorry, my lady, but I can't help myself. He tries to sink his teeth into the fruit. You eat it. It invigorates the body and mind. Maybe I should have tasted that one. It's better than mosquitoes and then bad food, potentially. My lord, Rahima, a young prodigy born of a lower social strata, has arrived at your court. Despite their humble origin, this gifted child seeks an audience of you to prove their exceptional talents. Wow. Someone who's also intelligent. An emerging prodigy. This character, despite their humble origins in the lower social stratum, possesses an exceptional intellect that sets them apart as an emerging prodigy. A sharp mind, insatiable curiosity, and a quick grasp of complex concepts mark them as a rising star in the court. Their eccentricity brings a fresh perspective and innovative ideas, making them a promising asset for the realm. How much? 8. Okay, you got it. Stick around. You might be useful to me one day. Assigned you a guardian, and that ain't gonna be me. We need someone who knows about learning. Why, the Countess herself. Let's just raise our money for this. If only I would upgrade them now. But in a few years' time, Semna will be getting plenty of income. Yes. I would assign you a guardian. King Georgios goes to war. Hang on. New educator as well. This is the Makurian War for Georgia's claim for the petty kingdom of Awa. Prince Georgios, excuse me. So you're pushing a claim to get Awa. Oh, he's alone on this issue. And Prince Georgios, which will be Georgios II here, he's a military man. And all is held by the Dinka, who is of a different pagan faith of Nilotic origin. They could stand together on this issue. Oh, yeah, I forgot about you. Come in. Man, we are short of a man here. A military engineer, excellent. Okay, there's been some realm law changes. Lots of it. Take a drink. Let's review them as time goes on. Religious authority has been shifted back to crown oversight. Diplomatic stance remains the same, so is domain taxation. Slavery regulations now back to being restricted. Urban planning is the same. Realm bureaucracy is the same. Traditional formality, it used to be exaggerated, but now it's been relaxed back to complex documentation. Punishment severity is the same. Moral standard used to be absolute purity, but now it's gone down to decency. They relaxed that a bit. Women's rights remain the same. Festivity budget was modest celebrations, but now it's gone back to traditional. Command structure remains the same. Security of vessels remains the same. Intelligence ordinance used to be extensive vigilance, and now it's back to being espionage network. So they relaxed the rules a little bit here. Again, while it'll take an eternity to have to get the regimental grounds done, Semna will be our, well, lack of a better term, our military administrator. Because you get the fort, and then we'll have this. Much like how, in real life, for me, since I'm from Texas, of how we they call San Antonio, which I live 86 miles away from, Military City. Now I've been named Master of the Hunt. And look at the size of that army of Makuria. Plus vassal reinforcements and whatever mercenaries they may have hired. Along with Nile pastoralists. It's a massive army, that's why Nubia is unconquerable. My son Merki and his little friend Elizabeth had taken a copy of the scriptures from the study and brought it to the playroom. Merki tried to read it, but quickly realized that the words therein were best left for the priests. He seems completely content with the current inability to understand the deeper meaning of the book. You know, since he's already humble, he gets piety gain a bit. No, he needs the intrigue to survive himself, so I'll say, it's all nonsense, boy. Ignore it. Although I'm not a cynic myself. And I've been a servant to the Lord for a good while. Again, he's doing it for the prince. And who leads the army? The prince himself? Yes. Along with a mercenary captain. What mercenary did I hire? Yeah, it was the Kushite band. Axe blocking his face. This mercenary captain is a veteran soldier. So now they're about to enter into enemy territory over there. That's enough swaying him. Oh, the king is dead. Long live the new king, George II. As I was saying, having a lot of soul's prestige is great, but this arouses the envy of many people who are willing to do everything to sabotage your reputation and interest. The more powerful people talk about you, the more unfortunate events happen around you. So, for 8,000 prestige, self-sabotage will get worse. And I'm no longer its marshal. As you can see, I'm without armor and headgear. I would hope that I'd be named Stewart. Matter of fact, no. King's at war. You can't go over there and petition to him. Because he's... Not only I've done it recently, plus he's leading an army right now. How much does a tattoo cost? 25. And I still would like to do Monument Expedition, which it costs 10. If there's one place I would like to go to, it would be, let me see. Okay, it does give you diplomacy skill and intrigue skill. I'd like to go to its pyramids. And bring scribes get 100. Okay. So I guess you'd save your money for that. Either for knowledge hoarding or curiosity. Plus it gives me an excuse to visit all these places here. So I'd like to see our old pyramids that our ancestors built long ago. Stained friendship. Control's about to be restored, but unfortunately developments on decline due to the siege and recently looted, which is set to expire in a few years. So I don't do no monument expedition yet. It does help with the progress because it's a learning skill, number of known languages, and is your friend. Okay, control restored. Well done. So, favoritism. Word is reached that a neighboring ruler holds you in high regard, and display of generosity sends you symbolic gifts as a token of their admiration. Befriending neighboring rulers. Well, I do know that there is one, well, possible friend in this man, but he's becoming old and infirm himself. The man who rules this eastern desert mountains, and as well as being the new governor of Aswan. And he only has one child, surprisingly. He's going to become... Oh, and is a legitimized bastard. With no known mother... Oh, he adopted. That's what he did. He adopted a child. He didn't... Interesting. But please remember, the Tulan Sultanate is, they don't like the Caliph, which, in fact, they're rivals. Why are they rivals? Really? The Tulan Sultan is friends with the vassals of Byzantium, bonded over a shared hatred. And why do they not like each other? Claims, that's why. But yet, you're the one paying tribute to him and is allied to him. Meanwhile, yes, steward. That's what I want. Because as steward, now it's this thing I'm very good at, but it gives you more tax, domain tax up, building construction costs are cheaper, and monthly stewardship lifestyle goes up a bit more, which that's not my current focus. As much as for a destination. A little more cheaper now, but the restricted slavery, however, increased the cost and time, especially. And we still haven't got rid of educational failure. Unified leadership. With her coming of age, my tuition of Irina is at an end. Despite being a chatty child, Irina finds it difficult to get along with people. Feel any could be overly impressed by her grasp of etiquette. At least she does know how to hold her own in polite company. Adept diplomat. Tends to the liege's court. So, she's also got a turtle-like demeanor. So it's betrothed, and therefore you ought to be married. Son of King David. So he's leading the siege over there. A Nubian albino. Very well. Intellectual strategist, horse-like demeanor, indifferent observer, indescribable mediocrity. That's good. That means I have more income now. Perhaps I could do that monument expedition without having to worry about, you know, try to get a claim of this. But the war is over now. This is a bit of Makuria that's now under control. So, there might be a possible rebellion to break out if they're not careful with this. But you are coming close to uniting the Nubian kingdoms. He may have the gumption to do it. Princess. Damn. As much as I'd like to keep the lines of Shamir, if only it was... I mean, he probably won't accept that because, you know, maybe an account and where he's stationed, and then, you know, I get to inherit the whole kingdom. That'd be grand. But, however, I must get another county or get a duchy. It's far easier to get devoted servant. Engage in more than once gives you more prestige. You got that? Independence faction. Of course they'll resort to something like that. Finally there. Points of distress loss, point of interest prestige. I get that pretty awfully fast. I might get Voyager and then I'll switch to let's focus or something. Oh, he's more virtuous. He's chaste, forgiving, and cynical. It explains the lack of children. Oh, and about to have another child soon. I pray that you have a son. Well, or not a daughter, preferably not a daughter, but still, you get the idea. Claims. I'm happily soaking in the bathhouse, sharing deep reflections, slice jokes of mere boss Shambu. Oh. The mayor of Courtiers. Oh no, not that man again. Oh, that's what he's been up to. He's the one that tried to kill me. And he's gone on to become a pilgrim, and now he's mayor. Anyways, sure, let's talk about Shambu. About that time he tried to murder me. As I feel all the tension leaving my body, I realize it's not just the warm water loosening my muscles. I'm genuinely having fun. It's all because of Boss Shambu's company. So we discovered our common passion for bathhouses. If we had any chance to really interact or get to know each other that well, we really look forward to a regular rendezvous there. They're always filled with laughter and memory. Have we truly become friends? Is being friends with a former lunatic a good idea? But he might be useful to me. Yes, he tried to kill me one time. He got away. And he went on to do a pilgrimage, whatever he did. He inherited that a couple of months ago, in fact. So I guess at some point he did wander around. I guess he was part of the entourage of being in a pilgrimage with him. So, what pilgrimage was it exactly that he did? Ah, to Antioch. That's what it was. And Kodosko. Which I don't know if that's a correct pronunciation, because that sounds like a Slavic pronunciation the way I say it. Or Korosko. Or Korosko. I mean, I'm not sure how Nubians pronounce it. Anyways, Philemon, a prominent lowborn from your domains is arrived. Your court is expecting an audience with the president itself and over the field here. Not that impressive. Hold it right there. You can join if you want. It's a board game. Well then, give me an excuse to get to somewhere. Are you coming? Yeah, he's going to the tournament. So okay, I'll be there too. And it's Abu Hamad is the home of a gold mine. Because that's what ancient Nubia was known for back then. Gold. We'll be there in February, but better be wise to get a private army with you. Slightly reduce the danger. Yes, you can travel with trans-Saharan merchants and Silk Road merchants and such. Yeah, get a forder as well. Just spend little on the travel. Wait 1 second. Train for tournament. That option's usually there. The call still cannot go unanswered. I shall don my equipment and head to the training grounds for some practice. You and your knights will sharpen your skills. Your successes will raise your prowess for martial events on the upcoming Grand Tournament. Old age is getting to me a little, and again, we're doing it for board games, not for fighting. Start the training anyhow. Then he turned to the right. Mashuda yells, while dealing a powerful blow to my sword. This makes me take a couple of steps back. Then we'll go Jutto on you in a tourney, my lord. Giant is sweated word. If you want to win, you can't afford to lose. Not even to me. Not even once. Ah! So, 30% chance that my training is impressive, increasing my prowess. 52% chance that I'll be well trained for this. And start with a higher progress to victory. 33% chance you hurt yourself. And for every night, training is unsuccessful, 6% and 4%. Alright. Now I'm ready. Let's go play that board game. Yeah. Mixed group of lesser knights and local mercenaries to ensure a quick and safe yet affordable journey. And here's our Forda for today. Very low flood. Sabotage attempt. Dang nabbit. Festival disasters. Tisk tisk tisk. In the quiet of our campaign, for him, a shrieking uproar breaks the calm. My chancellor Kuda confronts my knight Birka, accusingly holding a treasure chest. You thief! This is my mother's! Oh, Kuda exclaims, eyes blazing anger. Birka vehemently denies him. You lying swine! You always belong to me. Well, since I'm a deceitful man, I'd say, you both are children. Hand it over. Money's going to be spent on a monument expedition we'll do after the tournament. Sure. He beats the bandits. Horosco Road. And Dunn took the shortcut. And we are here. Arrived at the site of the tournament, here in Abu Hamad. Though not all the rebels have arrived yet, throngs of people wander through the colorful surroundings, all looking forward to the forthcoming displays of skill and prowess. There is no time to lose. I must begin preparing. I must be a victor, at absolutely any cost. It's all about the board game, damn it. Go, ill-fated. Go faster. I hear a man's voice echo across the grounds. I look up to see a small thing hurrying through the sky like a little black bolt of lightning. Soon enough, it swoops down towards the finishing line. Well, he must have cheated. Your bird cannot fly that fast. Just look at her. She's fast as a mountain. The angry loser shouts, with the winner looking smug. As a diligent man, I say, must have taken a lot of preparation to do this. Yes. As I travel along the road, I notice a frail-looking peasant on the side of the path. I inspect him more closely. He appears to be holding a small bundle. Please, hold a moment. Times have been tough since my spouse passed, and I'm at wit's end. Would you be interested in buying my child? Door pages deeply. I can't afford to keep him. I must sell him to save what's of my His name is Dolisi. So he's blind, and so is the child. Well, I'll make sure he's cared for and there'll be a ward. I'll be nice. An adopted orphan. Though malnourished and blind. You got a feel for the kid. Actually, hold that thought. Artisan's Courtiers. I find it funny cutting a piece of new cloth. A couple of tea bowls have been disposed to display his work. stockings and head coverings, hoods and sleeves, opposite hearth lightly burns. Are you looking for something to do in your time, my lord? I can see that you also bought certain artifacts from the capital. If I may, I've always wanted to examine this as masterwork. Let me see. That's a funny way to say it. Actually, my delicious face of St. Samuel could use some decoration. How do you decorate a kidneyed figs by giving it more prestige, which makes it mean something? Have an ornate ribbon, a strip of silk embroidered with floral patterns of fine gifts. Prestige up. 10 days fast to seduce someone. Or some banners will encourage the audience to cheer for me. You know what? Give me that ornate ribbon. There is time to visit Tourney Grounds just one more time. I want to be as successful as I can. Because, look, the wit's good. Knights stand aside for the day's training. The lieutenants laden with kit. Cool and myself stand before all. Knights, what you do not know, ask humbly to be taught. Just go. Together, we represent the Count. Let us together prepare for our glories. He turns to the eyes. Command us. Knights, prove your keenness of both eye and mind. This is a board game. So I'll gain this trait while we'll all pick up wit and bow. That's still their trait. It now exists. Good enough. The contestants take their places at the gaming tables, fluffing their cushions or requesting refreshments. As the herald announces the contest commencement, the games themselves are laid out on trestle tables, pieces polished to a mere sheen. When board game qualifiers come in, it's clear will be put forward to the corner file of the stands. The varied pitches of honors the crowds cheer leave no questions to the favorites. For my first bout, I've been paired against my liege, King Georgius II of Makuria. What the heck? The king himself. Well, let's see who can outwit the other. I'd like to place a bet. Appearing at the Boogie Better Tavern's dim light, I ponder the stream of odds shouts over the heads of million. Count Raphael's a board game favorite. 4-1 on Count Raphael of LS. I bet on myself. I vowed myself to win the contest tournament, but I can't help but consider a less fair approach to securing the prize as a board game competition. I'm sure my opponents would do the same if they only had the idea. Who knows, maybe they already have. Worse than you, worse than you, worse than you. There's no way to win. Be classy. Before the board game's even begun, someone's already been caught in the act of sabotage. Duke Nunity is justly disqualified. The wretched curve in the competition. The Jake! He's always been a bit of a, a shit stirrer. Shameless! He's been disqualified. The table flips an almighty thwack, sending the chess pieces flying. George's mood turned suddenly several moves ago. He's realized a simple mistake, but all the side of the game in my favor. Yes, you win, Count Merki, he whines. Have I? God, that's absolved. Listen, let's be fair. He's the king, and I'm the count, so I'll say, come, let's go back a few moves. Plus, he's a bit of a friend of mine, but not friendly yet. The soft click of the moving pieces disturbs the calm. We're deep into the endgame now, and the king hangs in the balance. I ponder what has already happened, such as when my opponent overturned the table and tired of an almighty crash. I'm winning by some margin, provided I can press this advantage hard. Victory is surely on the horizon. Learning an intrigue. Perhaps time for a daring move? 44% chance of score increases moderately, 22% chance nothing, 33% chance decrease, so it's all or nothing. I'll lose this one. The moment my hand leaves the playing piece, I know I made a mistake. My opponent's artfully laid trap is sprung. A few more moves, I'm clearly disadvantaged by my error. Forced a position I didn't want at all. Moments later, I realized at last the danger of my position. George has been baiting me from the start. He had been baiting me into a trap for half the game. Biding his time with a blunder. Now there's no escape, but the judge is called in. I have lost. Confound it. Well, I just did it for you, Mage. The bout between King Dawood and, King Dawood of Eludia and Vassal Duke Zacharias been decided. It's been close fought, but in the end, Dawood swooped in when Zacharias made one of the classic blunders to the semifinal. Huh? Not this time, Zacharias. You know, since I don't like the bastard. I took his land, and one day I'm going to take another piece of his land. Maybe one day your whole title. The board game quarterfinals are over. The albums: King Dawood II of Eludia, King Georgios II of Makuria, Count Yonu of Courtiers, and Mukashta reached the semifinals. Interesting round. The bout between the Count and the King's side. After honestly one-sided bout, no one's surprised when Undo decided the game with a set of well-played moves. He's to the final. Who is this man? He's the Duke's Chancellor. A fine contest. The bout between King Georgios and Mukashta has been decided. Both contests made a good showing of their skills, but ultimately Georgios swooped in when Mukashta made one of the classic blunders. Georgios to the final. Not my favorite night, as it has to be said. And now, the King and the Count have reached the final. Who is the best of the Nubian mine? The bout between King Georgios and the Count was decided. At the one side, but no one's surprised when Georgios swooped in with the real classic one. So he wins the board king contest. For a man who says, "Why invite you in?" I said, "Hey, go back a few moves. Let's play fair." And he played fair. He did. Fine contest. Trumpets sound, the crowd clamors, the competitors begin to assemble. The contest is over. Someone's moment, the sun's being readied. Now steps forward, voice booming across the scene. After many trials, some tribulations, and above all, some truly fair competition, King Georgios beat Count Yonu in the final. Georgios is our winner. Let's put more effort next time. I think myself watching the victor's arm be raised. Lost my wager. He wins the gold stage. And he's Grandmaster. And for everyone else, including myself, tabletop player. See if just this one time. Okay, we don't get that here. Food and drink is abundant during the turn to delight the attendees. 3 pez particular seem to be sharing what looks like a entire keg of spice wine. I'll get you that, you fiend. Well, so I was struggling. 7 moon. I'm sorry. The victim covers his face, deflecting the attack. Help me, mana. You're under there, if I know. Well, so I exclaimed, so downing a turn like a one big gulp. They're a blind drunk. It should be trivial to rile them up. I lose the stress because I'm deceitful. Let them beat each other up. Yeah, we don't get that here. They try to befriend the king. Some comes down on the final day of the tournament. The mass crowds begin to disperse. I find myself ruminating over results. King Georgios' sharp mind out-thought all adversaries to win the board games. He and I are yet to establish a firm friendship. Look for the next one. So he's got the prize ring. An opulent ring of excellent craftsmanship. It's gold shank with a Coptic cross engraved into the head of the gold is framed by a gold ring stamped with runes. Awarded to King George's by the Ethnicities for winning the board game contest. What a great occasion that was. At least you learned something here. Put that ornate ribbon on. Oh, and 70 gold. Excellent. You know what? Upgrade this. Entering the barony of Crusader, welcomed by a troop of entertainers. My son Merki seems to enjoy the music and is delightfully enthralled by one gesture in particular. The man is an extraordinary performer. He's juggling several instruments in between playing them. Merki spends a quality time with Merki. My son. Where's the beef? I apologize, my lord, but this is the best we have. The Nubian elder tells me regretfully, as the villagers present me with some pitiful amounts of goat and sheep meat. My entourage and I were stopping by the Virgin in Sarah for the night, and the friendly villagers were quite hospitable, offering us what little food they had. It is a destitute village, without a doubt, whose people looked tired and weary. Unfortunately, we cannot offer a great and powerful man like yourself any beef, the elder continues, as we have very few cattle here. I hope that won't be a problem. Know where I'm going these days, I'll say none at all. Goat and sheep are delicious. So, for historical context, in ancient and medieval Nubia, due to the great prestige and the value of cattle, beef was popular among Nubia's elite classes and urban dwellers. Archaeological evidence suggests that conversely, in poorer rural settlements, sheep and goat were more widely consumed compared to beef. Trouble the river crossing. While crossing the river in Akasha, some of our supplies came loose and fell to the river, which is the Nile, you would think. We watched helplessly as the water swept these supplies away. While all our supplies are still with us, thankfully, we still lost quite a bit. My companions have different suggestions on what to do. Some say we should go downstream and see if we can recover some of the supplies, especially if they were washed ashore. Others say we should cut our losses and purchase replacement supplies at the next town. Others say we should bear our misfortune and continue along. We're almost home, so bear with it and continue on the journey. Traveling through these sometimes harsh environments is invigorating effects, at least in my state of mind and vigor. As I glance over Nagatri, however, it does not appear to be doing quite as good. Movement is labored, his breathing is heavy, and spontaneous bursts of coughing ripple through his body. Clearly he's not well. Treat him. Home again. Wonder how long before he's gonna decide to start a press claymore against me. Our garrison is ready, but has been a controlled decline lately due to factors such as the Nile River, which is currently under very low flood lately. Okay, so you're hindered from declaring war on Malik Kalun of Lemia, cause hostage. So I see. Hey, where's he going? Another grand tournament? What tournament is that? Duel. You know, I still got pretty good prowess myself, especially that I'm an experienced traveler as well, thanks to being seasoned. Plus, this gives me another chance, because this king is much of a tourney-goer. Oh, let's not forget for the king. He's a guardian protector. He's got a rat-like demeanor. He's a warfare enthusiast, which isn't a surprise. And a scheming puppeteer. Well, shit, if the king's going, I'm going too. What's his prowess skill? 5. You already trained for a tournament. At least he's not starting a war or anything. We'll be going up right up to the border next to us one. Before I go over there. Oh yes, engage in these practices again. Every county that you own. You know, let's do the same, just like with this one, but we can add this for that. And remember, you get more prestige each time you do that. Thank God for the Nile River. The Nile is an ancient river whose waters nourish our civilization. Still would be forced to simply take this for granted and not do anything to maximize the benefit we can get from these waters. Over the years, we Nubians utilize a variety of methods and technologies such as sakia and various ways of digging irrigation ditches to extend the reach of the Nile's waters and expand how much arable land we can take advantage of. By supporting these traditional Nubian strategies, as the count of my people will benefit from increased agricultural productivity for many years to come. The Nile is the resource we must use wisely. Now I'm ready to go take part in the duel tournament. There might be a bit more travel danger with this. I ain't scared. We'll be there in August and the thing will start in October. How about the rest of you? You ready? What a heck. Hopefully the rest of us won't be as rotten as Duke Zagras, who should be still be wary of what goes down in the lion's den. Because, you know, I'm the one who took his land, not by force, no, but with words. But this one, however, is going to have to be done by conquest war. Hey, wait a minute. What happened to the Prince Bishop? You revoked him. What happened to you? Lost and one other title. So that means I could petition to the king again and they'll give me this land. We don't have to fight another war for it. And then perhaps okay, maybe we could do a 1-2 punch with this. Where 1, I can take the land by petitioning to the king again, as long as he's not traveling, which we could do that in 3 years' time. And then I'll fight the war for this duchy, because the more land I require, the more money, and I can also beef up the size of the Nile Archers Regiment that would complement with the Nile Pastoralists. Which I would like to have another man-at-arms regiment, or something that would counter against skirmishers and light cavalry. Because they're good against skirmishers. And to counter against the cavalry, we need pikemen. Something to consider. But at least with this, it's got the very valuable Cathedral of Our Lady. With great tax. Which, keep in mind, this year it's a very low flood, but with time. Alright. Now, well, Fort contest aptitude isn't good, but I'm guaranteed to qualify. Squires laugh and joke while they polish helms and mail. One of them snorts so hard it sounds like a pig, and soon the rest imitate him and knights lord nearby. Among these I spot Yonkuda, the Duke's Nuities Counselor. Marshal? Yes. And Master of the Horse. His deeds not gone unnoticed, and the work that he's done for the Legion's household is more than impressive. I should convince him to join my own council. Ah! What a joke, but he'd be a good marshal and commander, but as a fighter, hell no. I can use my diplomacy. I'll still bring him over. A more prestigious life awaits you in my court. We are in an expanding realm. But this still does not improve my chances of winning. As a matter of fact, you're an old man. I don't think you could win. Just try to befriend the king somehow. Because I'd like to get him on my side. Maybe meet him at a tent camp. If you can. A small crowd is gathered around a passionately orating Pedros. Just seem to be listening intently. Your own skill will only take you so far in the tournament, he nods energetically. It's those who support or don't support you who decide your fate. Let me tell you when Episcopos Massa of Avab and I became rivals. Episcopos. Devils have an hour past views like me. I guess he sure knows how to spin tail. I think I learned something. Maybe. Need to go back to this. I greet the band of knights as they wander past me. One striker behind the rest makes me pause, spinning on my heel. They call out the figure. They are clad in shapeless, ill-fitting armor, their eyes wide and clearly terrified beneath the helmet. Something isn't right here. Step before and I rip off the helmet before they have a chance to react. Standing before me, looking around furtively to see anyone else that knows, is none other than a woman, just as a knight, no less. Splendid Capita as a knight, even. Zaribecca is her name. She's stupid, but she knows how to use a blade well. She only understands the sword, even though she's not as intelligent. She's not blessed with intellect. And she is a blade master, so as I've said, the only education she had was the sword, and that's it. So, I could do with the services of someone like you. You should join. Although women warriors in Nubian society isn't unheard of, at least by, back in the days of ancient Nubia, where there used to be Nubian queens that led armies. But women warriors, I don't know how common that is at that time or even now. But in Christian Nubia, I think it's probably far less common. That's from my, knowledge of that sort of thing. Let's try turning grounds one more time. See if we could try to prove it. The tourney grounds are bustling with preparations. The pages running around carrying pieces of armor that make them look like tiny scarecrows. Wait, one of them yells, picking up the helmet. I hear a familiar giggle coming from one of the tribunes. I see Countess surrounded by other women who cover their mouths with their handkerchiefs. She doesn't wave at me. She doesn't need to. Coming for some exercise? Rebecca walks past me, raising her chin. You'll need it. We don't have the fertility right now. You can't intimidate her. She'll be unimpressed. There's only one person I need to impress. Myself. Let's go. The contestants march into the field, taking their places around the sparring quad. As Errol announces to the contest commencement, the squared off ring is being looked over in the background, rattled and shaken to ensure no one should give a contestant to crash into. A dual qualifier is coming in, and it's clear who will be put forward for the quarterfinals as it stands. The varied pitches of volumes the crowd's cheers lead to no questions of theirs. For my first bout to be paired against my marshal, Masuda. Well, my man. He is an audacious conqueror with a lizard-like demeanor, and a passionate storyteller with unpredictable mood swings, that man. No need to place bets, because lacking in gold right now. I need to start saving. I am ready. The screeching chorus of metal on metal rings as two blades scraped down each other's lengths. Sparks glittering as they fall to the ground. I look for advantages, thinking back to when the duel was still so close. Its victor could be still either of us. We advance upon each other once more. We're both battered, both tired. There can only be one winner. Take your pick. Knowing the character's deceitful nature, he'll likely say, one final bluff might decide this. Combine prowess and intrigue challenge. 37% chance of increased score moderately, 25 nothing, 37 moderately. It could go either way. It increased, and I win this round. A sonorous blow rings out as my weapon glances off a helmet. My opponent staggering backwards in the daze. I fall off quickly. A swipe feign left, hammering blow right. I advance, my adversary backpedals desperately, my sword barely being deflected by the barest of margins. I sense a wind, rush to clear before Masuda recovers. He withers under my firing blows, barely keeping form with his guards until he last steps away, yielding. Judges call in. I have won. Victory. The bout between Epiphanios and my fellow contested Petros has been decided. It was closely fought, but in the end, Epiphanios was declared a clear winner by the resounding judgment. He's through the semi-final. Yes. The albino man. the Nubian albino. Don't mess with the Zayan Knights. About decided between Zabeka and Kul has been decided. After an unsatisfactory one-side about, no one was surprised when Zerebeka battered called her around, forcing a forfeit. Zerebeka is through the semi-final. Well fought, knights! Although the advantage goes to her with her youth. Well, you know, him being the older man here. Quarterfinals are over. Count booms. Count Merki of Zerebeka Epiphanios. Who's my name? And Pew. Pew, is that how you say his name? Of Dinka origin. I reached the semifinals. My next battle will be against my knight Zerebeka. Oh, this won't do well for me. I'm an older man, and she's got youth in her. So I'll say I can do this. Come on, you're the count. You're a man of nobility. Step up your game. My blade crashes out of my opponent Zerebeka's. Sparks set flying as the two weapons break. We both step back, circling our left. Zerebeka swings at me, sword point thudding into the ground after passing my body. Quick as a viper, I step in and kick it as hard as possible. Ripped from her grasp, Zerebeka's sword cartwheels off the air, landing to both of our horror amongst the crowd. A shrill cry pierces the air, and we both hurried over to see Georgios on his knee. Wait, King Georgios. Oh, his flying sword impacted directly in his arm. My liege. Because I have a deceitful trait, I'll say, how could you? And you'll be mad at her. I could go over there but say, are you alright? But no, my deceitful nature would not go over there to tell her that. And she'll be angry at me if I take advantage of this. I say, oh, no time to lose. So, the king has been wounded, and he's been scarred. And he gains 17 experience trait for scarred, because the more times you hit, well, then it does stack up. So it's not ideal to get scarred like this. But she's got a 99 opinion, so... Hey. Fight to win. She'll be angry at me for trying to take advantage of this. The screechy chorus of metal on metal rings out as the two blades scrape down each other's lines, sparks exploding as they fall to the ground. I look for advantages, thinking back to when my opponent's sword went flying to the ground. Winning this fight by some margin, but I just need to hold it together for a few moments more. We advance upon each other once more. We're both battered, both tired, and there can only be one winner. Take your pick. Guess I can taunt her by saying, what? Are you scared? Oh, she beat me. Sometimes what rings out as my weapon glance off of home. My opponent staggered backwards a daze. I follow quickly, swiping left, hammering both right. I advance my adversary backpedals desperately, my sword barely being deflected by the various margins. Rebecca changes tack suddenly. I sense an end is near. I can barely keep my defense up against the precise blows. My energy draining fast. I raise my arm to yield, then to prolong the inevitable. Judges call in. I have lost. Confound it. You beat me. Well, I tried to take advantage of this, but you still managed to beat me. The battle between Phil and Epiphanios has been decided. Both contestants made good showings of their skill, but ultimately, Phil disarmed Epiphanios and forced him to concede. He's to the final. Well fought, knights. And dual symbols and whatever ones. Rebecca and Phil have reached the final. An interesting round. Because you got, you know, this man who is said to be a hero, once a reliable tax collector. He's got a prowess of 20. Well, Rebecca, well, she's gotten better at this sort of thing. Especially her, that she's an unconventional warrior. That's her lifestyle trait. This woman has defied societal expectations and honed her skills in combat. Whether through formal training or personal experiences, she possesses a prowess in fighting that sets her apart. Her rival at court challenges gender stereotypes and offers a unique perspective on matters of defense and strategy. Courage, strength, and ability to protect herself make her a formidable presence within the court. Which again, she's not all that bright on different fields, but the one thing she's very good at is military and the use of the blade. So it'll be an interesting round here. My bet would be Rebecca. So this blow rings out as my whip glances off helmet. My opponent is staggered backwards. Days follow up quickly, swiping left hand, go right, and advances my adversary. I don't know why it's red as if I'm there. The bout between Phil and my knight Rebecca has been sacked. It was closely fought, but in the end, Phil battered Rebecca to the ground, forcing a forfeit. It means he won the duel contest. Well, congratulations him. You are the hero of your story. Of your life story. Even though he's a villain, personality-wise. Well fought, knights. I congratulate you. Trumpets sound. Crowd clears, competitors begin to assemble the contest. So Someone's moving the sun's being ready. Harold steps forward, voice booming across the scene. After many trials and tribulations above all else, and truly spirit competition, you beat Zerebecca in the final. Who was our winner? I gotta put more effort next time, thinking to myself. There's always next time. So, a lot of our qualifying nights were there. This was our tournament, even though it comes from a Duke's tournament that I don't like the man himself. So, since he's a landless knight, you gain 25 prestige, gain 40 gold. The faithful landless knight donates most of the prize money to his liege, so he paid me 15 gold to me. Oh, thank you. And so he splits his prize money to pay me additional 10 gold. Thank you very much. And he's a gifted duelist. He will receive the prize until the tournament concludes. And so, Zerebecca, is a landless knight. I gain prestige. She gains 20. This faithful landless knight, she donates 7 gold of prize money to her. And then splits the prize money, again, back to me. And we're all duelists here. So always next time. To the tavern. The gloom of the tavern is offset by the crackling fire and the ongoing revelry of the carousers. I slip past 2 particularly rowdy drunks sitting at a nearby table. Empty figure one of them. A fine night, is it not? Zerebecca. Gestures at the ragged crowd. I nod politely, barely finishing my head. To its position as Zerebecca with a set of dice and cups on the table. Care for a simple game? A fool could play it. We both roll under the cups, and you guess whether your roll is higher or lower than mine. She smiles. Damn, just getting away. Best 2 out of 3. Sure, pass those dice here. I don't know who that man is, but he's a wanderer here. The dice rattle and bounce inside their cups before we both slam them to the table. I raise the side of the cup closest to me, carefully covering the contents. 12. I scan. Zerebecca close, looking for towns. Is that a slight upward cone of lip I spy? It's gone almost as soon as it appeared. The smallest where it could betray the deepest truths. Oh, that's tricky. Start off with 12. Lower or higher. This is tricky. My dice are lower. Reveal our dice takes minutes for both of us to register, and I've won. Ah, well guessed. The first round is yours, Zerebecca's lips smile, but doesn't quite reach her eyes. Next round. I set out a cup once more. I raise the side of my cup close to me, and the small intrigues on the dice reveal the number. 10. Rest the cup back on the table and look up. Zerebecca taps her fingers on the table. Is that a head tilt to the ceiling, a subtle hint? She seems to be sitting more upright than before. Oh, I don't know about this one. 10's like right in the middle. Lower, most definitely. Cups come over time, a small crowd is gathered around the scene. See that? I lost! Zerebecca crows delightedly. She grabs the purses we both wagered. Better luck next time, she cackles gleefully, scuttling away with armfuls of money. I lean back in my chair, deflated. Okay, I lost the gold, and then she decided to pay it back to me. Nice gambler. No, she paid me back. I drink to myself. But instead, I was like, drat. I actually gained gold out of this rather than lost, so. Interesting. So what does my other knight, the Dinka, win? The sun comes down the final day of the tournament, and the mass crowds begin to disperse. I find myself ruminating over the results. Here was superior over the blade. Had him take home the prize in the duel. Jonas and I have yet to establish a firm friendship. I ought to befriend that man via a feast. Look for the next one. Peel has become the owner of a prize brooch. An elegant brooch of masterful craftsmanship consists of zircon. Cabochon is adorned with intricate filigree. The award is paid by Duke Zacharias for winning the duel contest. Fertility up for him. Well, good for you if you were a married man. Like if I ever found a woman that's of your faith, I would arrange a marriage for you. Because why not? You said to be a hero in your story. Now get me out of this place. And I'm glad that my knights paid me some money. That they decided to donate some of that money to me. And subsequently, I'm going to use that money. My son Merki has been harboring a secret affection for Rahima for some time. However, he's finally confessed his feelings. Rahima responded harshly. Your rejects seem to make Merki aware of any kind of attraction whatsoever. Well, of course! She's smarter than you. You're both just as smart. I guess, Chaste is a virtue that I think you should... Maybe you should have, so... Why don't you not dabble in matters of lust at all? You're a young man and you have a bright future. The altitude and brisk air of Batanal Hajar is a very refreshing quality to traverse the local hill fort. The soldiers of the valley below appear to be practicing a rare type of training I have seen before. I'm moving closer, failing to restrain my curiosity. While doing so, I'm approached by the local captain, Lazarus. Would you like to join him, my lord? The hunchback. Look at him. He's better at this craft, but he has no... I think my marshals should surely benefit from this training regimen. So he gets rough to my next one. Actually, he has Desert Warrior, Faithful Blade, all that. If we are at war, he's going to lead my armies to victory. I know a cure. Back to normal flood. Still getting sabotaged. $11 years. Until this goes away next year. And so does that. Treaty of Friendship. Improve your favoritism by befriending neighboring rulers. God, I wish. Now she serves in our army and she's doing a lot better as she's a duelist and a worthy commander. Though she's a lowborn. But still, I would not have her married off because of that trait. In which I've stated before, she only understands the sword and not anything else. Our income is excellent now that the flood's back to normal. And because the amount of money we make these days, Fort level's 4, but George just holds the land to himself, which means I get to petition the king again, which we could do that in 2 years' time. So in the meantime, I'd like to do more traveling, as I love doing, because you're almost there to having this more wandering lifestyle experience. So I'm going to undertake an expedition to a famous monument or landmark to prove yourself by delving into the history, knowledge, and mysteries that dwell there. So anticipated rewards from hosting the activity includes a guaranteed skill point of your choice and potential extra. Skill point rewards are based on a visiting building. Excellent aptitude, court positions, prestige. You will bring children and spouses with you in the entourage. Yeah, you all need to see this. Because you might learn something. Go to the Merki pyramids. these old pyramids. Nestled amidst the golden sands of Nubia, the enigmatic pyramids rise like forgotten guardians, their secrets whispered by desert winds, beckoning curious minds to unravel the mysteries of a lost civilization through the hauntingly beautiful and intricately adorned structures. Oh, damn. This is because of distance cost, higher photo, travel safety aptitude. Never mind. Raise more funds. Don't spend anything. It can wait. %done, but still heading towards Discord. There's been wars between Africans and Egyptians. They've been warding off these Nile-pastoralists a lot lately. And they've plundered as Nile farmers. And we had some bad floods. Well, over on the other end, there's been some welcoming. Those exchange. What's this? Ah, coordination. That's another thing about him. It's another thing that's not been done by the king. You've gone to 2 tournaments and you have not been crowned king. What have you been doing? This gives me an excellent opportunity. Greetings, my benevolent vassal. You are cordially invited to join me and the rest of my realm at Dongola for my upcoming coronation. So this is what it's like. There's planning, there's prelude, ceremony, and then feast. So participants may gain opinion of other participants. Participants may gain unique opportunities based on their intent. The monument expedition can wait. So I'll be there. Make it cheaper to travel since I'm a bit, of a cheapskate these days. Let's go to it. Our first coronation ceremony for this series. Oh, it's by my liege, not me directly, because I'm not king. I doubt I'll be king in this life, but certainly we must support him. And speaking of support, there's different intents that you can see here. Bear witness, which is, by appearing on a historic occasion, you expect to enjoy piety, legitimacy, and cultural acceptance. Which, kind of don't really need that right now. Offer support, hope to gain opinion, a special relation, or an alliance with its wearer. That I would want. There's also advocate domain, press your sovereign for policies that foster development, control popular opinion in your sub-realm, if you got issues in your realm. Profess rights. Stand proudly resolute, demanding a favor hook or vassal contract improvement in your liege. Don't need that. Too small of a realm to care. Seize adventures. Keep a watchful eye for opportunities to secure yourself gold, prestige, or claims. Oh, I don't want to do that. Or disrupt lords seek to reduce the coronation's magnificence. Swell factions and their discontent to create problems for the activity hosts and their supporters. If it's to someone that I don't like in particular, let me do that. But for now, I can only offer support. On my way. I'll try to, kiss up to the king. I finally arrived at Dongola for the coordination. Love or hate the king, none can deny the feeling of importance shared between we who shall stand witness. A new chapter begins today. Magnificence has been damaged by factions opposing King. Just a second. I mean, after all, he took part in one tournament, but he did not take part on the other. Other than Zerebecca's sword hit him there, and he's become scarred for life. Visibly wearing the memories of battles or accidents. In this case, he's noticeably scarred. But however, he's a virtuous man, but he's a bit cynical. So I wonder what that would be like of his personality going forward. But who else is coming? Obviously the vassals, the counts, the mayors, the Archbishop of Makuria. you know, basically just this whole entire country of noble personalities, including Mayor Raphael the Blind. Divine intervention. Piety gain. Only one remaining. Where are you? Count Pesce. He's in Takase. 7 days. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Nope, you couldn't arrive on time, Count. You missed the coronation ceremony, you greedy, vengeful bastard. After all, he's of the Dinka culture. And of a different faith as well. Anyways. Okay, put it here. The gathering is grand as expected. Faces familiar and foreign mingle. And I hear greetings just warm enough to be polite. When the hosts speak, the room quiets out of instinct. My friends, my vassals, my kin, your presence honors me more than any crown could. Until the ceremony begins, eat, drink, speak freely, and know that I see each of you. You will not forget who stood here with me today. A kind promise or quiet warning, depending on how one chooses to hear. Now then, who else is here? The major supporters is me, Zacharias, my potential rival, and Queen Himine. And there's major detractors, Count Davan, Mayors Cortale, and Raphael. We all want to offer support while this man wants to siege adventures, and this other man wants to disrupt loyalists, and the other wants to advocate the main. 42 days for the prelude. Our thoughtful King Georgios has finally been left alone. My fellow vassal Dangal, the Archbishop of Makuria, and his personal physician, Sub-Zero smiles to me. This is a chance for us supporters to show our loyalty. Again, I've been wanting to become friends with him for some time, so I say, or I could just foster my relationship with the king. I mean, he knows me well enough, so they'll decide whether or not to accept it. This is a significant outcome for your supported tent. He accepts my petition, and he has become your friend. That's what I've been wanting all along, so I can win favors. I made friends during this coronation. I finally managed to leave the other guests behind and enter in search of the quiet moment. The altar of God shines dimly, illuminated by a dozen candles. A fragrant sun fills the cold walls. To my right, the mirror of St. Matthew offers me a stern look. To the left, a texture that once was St. Samuel fading slowly, his smile almost imperceptible. The Magnificent looks pretty good so far. So, I'll say St. Matthew will help me guide. A prayer for wealth. So this character took a moment of coronation to pray for wealth. +1 stewardship, and -5% building construction cost. As I'd love to build more buildings in my realm. This old caravan master died in his sleep. He shed his mortal color when he died in his sleep. It behooves me to choose someone else to lead my entourage. There's only one of my entourage who could take up the mantle. My personal physician Kill, and a local name Patrikos. Patrikios. Officer services, however. Good, poor. Alright. I'll take Kel. Count Merki. King George's calls of me with a big smile. Next to him stands another guest, a queen that I'm not acquainted with. This is Queen Himine. King George is introduced. I believe you two would find much common ground. The reseduction of gold minted in the realm, perhaps. Well, we are both deceitful, yes, and we both studied in the realm of stewardship. Yes. Let me think. She seems very polite. We got plenty in common, indeed. There's nothing wrong in having more friends in your life. I stand at the threshold, ready to lead the coronation procession when Zacharias barges forward and scoffs. My service to the crown demands I take precedence. His rude challenges disturb the sanctity of our preparations. As I said, we don't see each other eye to eye to this. I know what that man is like. I'll say it is my right, for I am most benign. Insist on being the first to enter my coronation. Because, you know, the king and I are friends. I don't know what your relationship is like with him. The courtyard of Dongola shines with a golden glow. A breeze shakes the leaves as the guests drift along. Merki! I turn around to find my friend Hemina, not calling my name with a wide smile. She practically trotted towards me. Friend, she yells, so good to see you. A favor on me while she gives me gold. I'm not a greedy man, but I like that option. Small chance of becoming an eager reveler, or just... Let's see if you know. I was like, have a masquerade for you. She can have a hook on me, and I will, and she'll pay me money, which is going to be used for that monument expedition. So she's allowed to have a hook on me. I would not have the king have a hook on me. King Georges takes a second to observe the crowd, folding his hands. Voice of the Courtiers become as constant as the chirping of birds. I have no doubt that Duke Zacharias intends to join him. Oh, good Count, he says, sliding up to me. I may be so bold as to ask, what are your thoughts on the celebration? I no doubt that King Georges will be one of love and justice. A peaceable king, perhaps? Because I'm the deceitful outsiders. They will call us fortunate to have been in here. So because the offers portend the magnificence increase, lose stress because it's deceitful, but every tending character, they'll like me a bit more. And now, the ceremony. All preparations are complete. The great ceremony assembly now awaits in Dongola's High Church. To cheers and exaltation, King George's procession parts the crown, and my retinue falls in our honorary place. Horns ring out, banners stream forth in bold Makurian colors. Peasants praise the king, and women weep in ecstasy at this glorious parade. Now we see the measure of this king. Magnificence 92. Until the bishops, the Makurian nobility, and the common people have all acted in their customary part. George is no true king. His rule cannot be just without their acceptance of it. First, the priests, adorning the law the pious king's great love for safeguarding Copts, and ask that he becomes their great champion. Then the elders of Dongola grasp their symbolic recognition, and the king promises a paternal love to the low people. George's vassals step forth to supplicate themselves, most glow with hope, and truthfully swear that loyalty and love. At last comes my turn. Let me see. What can I give him? Again, he's my friend. I will crowd my oath in utter devotion. Raise their voices, my fellows, and chant our new king's glorious name. So he'll get the deserved rewards. Call to war. Cordofana conquest the Cantevals. In Kordofan, which is over there. That is the usual part of Melodia. I'll accept, but don't expect me to send troops over there. The blaring of war horns have reached me here in Dongola as I'm attending the coronation and summating the war between Benedet Balad and Kegdol. I can manage things from here. It's like I heard your concerns of war, but right now, the final sacral moment draws near. But first, the anointing. The mark of King George II is a mandate from God. Dango himself bears the holy oil. Dango, the shepherd of Makuria, marks Georgius with sacred golden oil. On his hands, his head, his breast, his shoulders, at the beds of his arms, the blessing of the prophets, priests, and monarchs. The king's skin shines with the very approval of God, and so the priesthood accepts the king. High anointment. For this anointed ruler makes much their charge to lead to the faithful, so piety up for his powerful vassals and his legitimacy level, and cheaper holy order higher cost if we ever have the Order of St. Anthony, should it exist. Forth come the royal symbols, the gleaming scimitar girt into the scimitar hip, the levies, jewels, the glorious mantles placed upon him, as one the cream of his kingdom. The lords, bishops, and knights of that land crowd the final prayers and the last, God, behold our beloved king. Graced by the royal treasures, George II kneels, just this one final time, for the King of Makuria, the king he is about to truly become. He bows only to God. The crown is placed atop his brow, and so the Makurian coronation crown is set to rest. As we all know, that crowns employed for coronation ceremony were some of those of everyday use. Coronation crowns could also be dusty relics presented only for a singular occasion. So, therefore, adopts crown sovereign law. And this is the crown of the Kingdom of Makuria, which was previously held by, I believe that's his grandfather from long ago. An ornate crown of very fine craftsmanship. This crown is forged from bronze. King Haladrut, who was first to wear this symbol of his avarice rule. Every king of Makuria has worn since. Also, incorrect. I just noticed the year, because I just remembered seeing his name. I remember his reading. He was born from 606 and died of unknown causes in 656. He was the first documented king of Makuria as far as knowledge is concerned. He was the one that signed the Bach Treaty with the Rashidun Caliphate. It was that man. So this crown has been used for over 200 years now, and will never deteriorate. With the rights of the king's joining complete, the royal consort is now properly instated as queen. King George's wife conducts rituals with distinctive excitement. Her low breeding is betrayed somewhat when Jimena fumbles through the more obscure vows to fealty to Christ. Before long, and with great ceremony, Jimena's crown is laid on her head for the first time. King Makuria claims their queen. And keep in mind, the king himself is a cynic, but he still has to, say such things. Glorious day for Jimena. She gains plenty of prestige as well. Georgius stands by himself in front of the crowd as we all wait his oath. My rule will be remembered by those who come after as the start of the golden age for Makuria. What a disappointment, I said. What do we have thought of that? But you believe it's a golden age for Makuria. After all, you're the one that has expanded its borders. So don't be too boring with yourself. Anyways, the formalities have ended, and with them, the stillness that held the gathering in place. A few moments wise as the host stands again. This time, to mark the end of the ceremony and the start of something more relaxed. They raised their voice just enough to carry. My friends, the rites are complete. Let the tables be filled. Let the cups be raised. And let this hall remember joy as well as duty. The words are well received, and the first time all day, the gathering starts to feel like a celebration. Finally, the ceremony is over with. Again, I will not raise my army out of fear that the Duke may take advantage of try to reclaim this territory. My friend starts Queen Jimena, distinct odor following to my table. You must meet this most interesting man. He has brought the wondrous 4 cakes of hashish. Oh, I wouldn't have taken it. Enjoy without me. I don't do such things. Outside the feast, I enjoy a breath of fresh air and a view of Dongola, with the sounds of lovers in a nearby shrub and a local knight vomiting dangerously near them. Above it all, the sounds of the castle's town's celebrations hang in the air. An idea strikes. King Georges would no doubt appreciate the people singing in his name. And the castle townfolk, night of free drink, I would simply need to find a merchant willing to sell at this hour. It's already at the max. In fact, you can go over the limit. In fact, okay. Drunken populace. Popular opinion, but control goes on decline a bit. Perhaps not. More for me. Plenty of more fun to be had on the inside. He regaled his prize ring's history of how he won that tournament. A board game tournament. Count Merki, my fellow vassal Duke Newty calls on him. My dear cousin, Georges, speaks fondly of you, he probably says by taking a sip of his tea. I've been looking forward to feasting with you. Dishonorable Ravener. After all, you're the one that rebelled his father once, and I guess you found forgiveness. Toast to Georges and to the Do Tower. So he'll be a friend too. There are advantages in friendships. The hall echoes with the laughter of my rival, Dirk echoes with his taunts and insults. When he calls me a cloistered spawn of hell, I draw my blade. I come back to my senses. I lean over, foot on his chest above us, breathing hard. I'm not a vengeful person, but I'll say, I want to hear you beg for mercy. Dongle received leftover food for the populace. It was such a pleasant feast, but then he showed up. Can I not have a single evening unsullied by the invasive stench of Duke Zacharias? Worst of all, the nasal grinding of his voice. Why the sour face, Merki? It makes me want to punch him in the face. Feast ruined by a rival. Oh, that doesn't feel good. For me, health-wise. You know, anger and hate leads to suffering. I worked tirelessly to promote the glory and foster the grandness of my coordination. His coordination. The guests are flushed with the inspiration of what they could have witnessed here. Radiating admiration is a fitting start of my reign as king. His reign as king. My king's begun. So that's why I said, what a disappointment. He swore no oath this time. I guess he's happy with what he has. So, therefore, the prestige of crown legitimacy gained from the oath completion up for him. Gained from supporter from all 3 of his vassals. Gained impressive coordination. Lots of prestige gained legitimacy for him, so he's ordained. And the following characters gained impressed attendee. It affected Zacharias, the other Duke of Shamir, Count of Antiquity, and no doubt myself. But after all, won my friendship with him. And that's all that mattered. Friendship. A Coptic holy order is found, finally. The Order of Saint Anthony has been established in Tumbus by King Georges II. Where's their headquarters? Tumbus. Ah, over there. Grand Master Gabriel Nkoda of the Order of Saint Anthony. All Christians and all non-Christians around the world, when they hear news of it, they'll usually say, Saint who? Because that's the thing that's often shown in Crusader Kings 2 with the text. I even said that in the past, whenever I don't play as them. So now we're a stronger kingdom, and now we have the ability to have a holy order. Although small, as it's got order knights, which is heavy infantry that's good against spearmen. How does it compare to the regular armored footmen? Well, the ordered knights is an improvement. But with time, they'll grow. And I could hire them, if you got the piety. You know, we could intervene to try to get to have Kordofan. First, they have a few knights. They got Sudanese Highlanders, which are good against heavy infantry. Oh. They can fight in these areas just fine. Whereas they're still gathering their armies. No wonder why they called me there. So, and plus they got a very good commander of theirs, which, matter of fact, that's the High Chief himself. We should consider intervening. But until then, let's end the episode by going home. As soon as I reach home, end the episode. A compliment. These acceptance my home gifts. Not much, all but it's of use to our continued friendship. Thank you very much. Souvenirs aplenty. Your capital will gain development if you travel to a more developed destination. Thank God I can go inside again. And there. Now we end the episode here. I convey homage to the king again. And in 4 months' time, I will have a claim. He's infirm. And he's haunted by a ghost. Sure serves him right. But the thing is, in another 4 months' time, and that means we gotta wait 1 more year, and then petition to the king, my friend, to give me another piece of land, and then we will accomplish our aspiration to ascend in Makuria's bureaucratic ladder. All that and more in the next episode of Nubia. But until then, so long for now.